moving right along to my trellis. All right, so this bed is a mess. Mostly because I put a bunch of squash over here. It's a mix of like zucchini, yellow, maybe even some butternut or spaghetti. I do not know, y'all. Okay, I threw in what I had. Okay. So from here back, all squash. I can tell you this: the squash that's trailing on the ground outside of the bed is definitely a sugar pumpkin. That is what I do know. To the right here, we have our tomatillos. These things done branched out so much, they had flopped over here on the squash. So I just kind of jammed them back into the trellis. But all this time I've been like, you know what? I'm not getting any tomatillos. Like, I've been seeing all these flowers and nothing has been happening. I have seen nothing. And then one day I saw my first glimpse at what looks like an actual tomatillo. If I can find it, there it is, and show you guys. Look at that. So that's exciting. So I'm not gonna give up on her. I'm gonna let her play her season out, and we'll see what she does. We'll see what she does. The rest of the growth in this bed, at least here closest to the trellis, is all tomatoes. Different types of tomatoes. Of course, me being me, there's no labels. All right, no labels, but there is a tomato right there. There is a tomato back there, and that one's looking real good. And then there's more. I know that there is a sun sugar around here somewhere. Oh, there she is. Just there. We've been eating this one. That's how I know what that one is. But those are all tomatoes. And yeah, I think that's all for this bed. I did plant some onions right about here. But of course, this tomato plant is just flop down on top of them, not letting them live, and they're not getting a lot of sun back here. So I have learned that lesson. This tomato plant looks like it just fell today, because that was not like that when I came out earlier this morning. I'm just gonna push her back and hope she stays. Yeah, let's hope she stays. But that's what's going on in this bed. I'm kind of just allowing all of these tomatoes to just kind of follow the archway, because a lot of them are indeterminate. So yeah, I hope they can live their best life up there. In front of this bed, we have a bed of carrots. It is, what are these, the short and sweet? Yep, these are the short and sweet. And if you look closely, you can see like the shoulders of some of them. They're still pretty tiny. This bag of carrots does not get a lot of sun. And as I was saying earlier, this is the bag that has our sugar pumpkin running along the side of the bed there. But that is the chaos that is this bed. Moving right along, our strawberries are hanging up here. These have been kind of just pumping out throughout the season, so I'm guessing that those are like some form of everbearing. We also have our chamomile down below, and we also have some strawberry runners. So I'm gonna be putting those guys in soil soon, so we can have more strawberry plants. Like those are the forming roots. So we're just gonna cut these off, pop them in soil, yeah, and let them be great. So I'm excited about that. Oh, and I almost missed this one. This is our other ground cherry plant. It's snapped. Okay, so these leaves are looking rough because this plant actually snapped right there, snapped on me, and I didn't know what to do, so I kind of just leaned it up against this trellis to kind of help support it, because it is loaded with ground cherries. This is my first year growing ground cherries, and almost every other gardener that I've watched has said once you grow ground cherries, you never have to plant another seed for them. So we'll see if that rings true for me, especially now that it's like right by this bed here, because I was gonna try to keep them keep both of my ground cherry plants contained in a container. So we'll see what happens. On the other side of this arched bed, we have our carrots. In the front, these are red cord carrots, and they are looking a little bit better than the carrots on the other side because they do get a little bit more sun. So I'm loving that. I am going to try to grow carrots again in the fall, because I heard that I guess the cold makes them sweeter. So we're gonna check out that theory. Another sugar pumpkin plant that is just living her best life, and I will show you what I did to her on the other end over there. But onions in the front, and honestly, like, this is my first time growing onions, y'all. I used sets, well, maybe not that one, but they're looking okay. They're like little onion bites, but this is my first time for a first timer. I'm proud of that. I'm not even gonna hold you. But these tomato plants are looking good. These on this side have almost no fruit. Like, none whatsoever. Like, there may be a flower here and there, but no fruit, right? The tomato plants on this side, plenty of fruit. So that makes me think that this daylight sun that's coming in from this direction is what they are enjoying the most. I'm going to show you something. I actually snipped the growth tip on this sun sugar plant because I didn't intend for her to be in my walkway. She just kind of did this, and I don't want to move her either. So I'm hoping that she stops growing out, does not protrude into the walkway, and she starts putting on fruit. Because I've seen, like this here, if I can turn it so you can see, like there's a female right there with a little sun sugar pumpkin, but it's turning yellow. It's probably gonna fall off, but it hasn't, like the flower hasn't even opened up yet. So I'm hoping that by snipping the tip, she can then focus on putting on fruit instead of putting on greenery. So tell her to do her job. Moving right along. In the front of this bed, of course, with all of our tomatoes, I planted a wall of basil. So basil, basil, basil. There's basil right here too. And then that is our borage. There is a lot of borage over there. I have harvested a good amount and just kind of let it dry out. Of course, after you let it dry out, it's not as pretty. Look at how pretty that is. It's not as pretty after you let it dry out, but I still have it. There's also some onions right here. Almost failed to mention. Just for, you know, pest pressure. So the onions and the basil, I'm hoping, are helping keep all of the insects and things at bay. I feel like this is the husky cherry tomatoes that I grew last year. I started a couple of those plants and was hoping that one of these plants was in fact my husky cherry tomato plant, and I think this is her. And she is so cute, and her tomatoes are so thick, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Look at that. I'm ready for her, but I'm hoping that she grows up a lot taller than she is now. I'm just kind of nervous because she is back here shorter than the rest, so we'll see. But that whole plant there is her too. We'll see what happens. And then just in front of her here, I believe that this is actually a Roma tomato plant that I started from seed, and it's looking good. For a split second, I thought it was my grape cherry because look at this. Look how tiny they start off. Thought it was my, if that leaf gets out the way, thought it was my little grape cherry, but then they got to be this size, and I was like, oh, okay, nope, those are definitely Romas. And those are actually the only paste tomatoes that I grew from seed, and it does not have a tag, so that's how I know I grew it from seed. And yeah, definitely Romas. Right here on the edge is a Jetstar tomato. I need a better stake because this thing is tall and leaning. So I need a better stake, but she has fruit. More here, she has fruit. More down low, she is booming with fruit. And then the one I failed to mention, the one right behind, is actually a celebrity tomato. So excited about that. Have not tried either of those. This one here is labeled as a Jetstar as well. It doesn't look, I mean maybe it does look like those, but this one is pretty huge. So that's why I feel like it might not be labeled correctly, but she's gonna be delicious, I can tell you that much. That's all that matters. That back there, that paste tomato plant, there's green ones there. That, I believe, is actually a San Marzano. So looking forward to that. I think I grew those last season as well. This one right here in front of us, right here, this very, very empty tomato plant is a mortgage lifter. I have wanted to try one so bad. Look at those blossoms. They are beautiful. But not a single tomato yet. But when I used to work at Washington University, and when I worked at WashU, they always had a farmer's market on Wednesday. So all of the local farmers would come in and they would, you know, sell what they had. I kicked myself in the butt for never asking the person that I would buy my tomatoes from what variety was the one that I would always buy. Every Wednesday, I would just buy a couple of tomatoes and just eat them for lunch. Like just tomato with a little bit of salt and just ate down, okay? I'm kicking myself in the butt for not asking, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that it is the mortgage lifter, because from what I've seen anyway on the photos, stock photos online, it kind of looks like that. So we'll see. That's my spiel on the mortgage lifter. So we'll see. Maybe right next to the mortgage lifter we actually have our Cherokee Purple, and she's doing quite well for herself, ready to be harvested for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come out here in the morning and do a harvest, because these guys are looking really ready. Over here we have our Carolina Gold. That one there is blushing, but the one behind it is definitely ready. She's really, really gold. And then there's more above, and she's doing good. She's doing good. But yeah, and then there's the rest of the tomatoes, or onions back here. Like these stems are thick and starting to fall over, so that makes me think that's probably about all she wrote for these guys. So I may just harvest these as well. And like I said, I feel like I know at this point what I did wrong was that I didn't allow them to be able to get the sunlight that they need. So planning ahead for next year, I think what we're gonna do is I am going to turn this whole patch of dust right there into like a tomato and garlic bed, so that I can reserve the room in my beds for other things. Hubby does not know this yet, but we're gonna have something put together on that patch right there for onions and garlic specifically. But yeah, so you know, that'll just be another project that he can do for us. He'll be happy to do it because he loves and adores me. But I have a blueberry bush here. This one gave me blueberries this year. This one did not. That little sad excuse of a blueberry bush did not. I'm probably going to dig the tiny ones up, put them in buckets. I don't know. We'll see. Because there's more over there. You can't tell because it looks like there's all weeds over there. But there are 3 blueberry bushes right there in the front of that bed too. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about how upset those made me. Anyway, so like I said, moving on. We have our eggplant here in the front. I've seen so many flowers. Like this thing has put out so many flowers. But I have yet to see an eggplant on this thing. So that's a little disappointing, but it's okay. It's okay. We still got time. But there's been so many flowers. Anyway, tomato plant that I just threw in there because I had it. Same with this one here. I just threw it in there because I had it. In front of that situation, this I believe is like maybe a cantaloupe. Yes. Yep, these are cantaloupes. That one, this one, and this one. I don't think anything's gonna come of it. It looks like that one is lost. There's so many like blossoms or buds, whatever you want to call it, right there. I think they may be kind of lost, not knowing what to do. So that's that. Not gonna expect anything from them, but these are beans right behind them, getting entrapped by the nasturtium. Jesus. No beans on it, of course. More beans. These are purple beans, it looks like. Yep. Hardly any beans. More beans behind those. Bean plants. I'll start saying that. More bean plants, because there are no beans out here. Another eggplant with no eggplants. Just flower buds and leaves. Bean plant, no beans. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, would you look at that? Another bean plant with no beans. Fun. Look at that. More bean plants, no beans. Oh wait, I lied. We have one. Still gonna eat it. But yeah, next year definitely going to go for pole beans. Random tomato plant. We'll see what she does. This here is marigold. That one and that one. But this here is watermelon. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get no water. I think it's safe to say we probably won't be getting any watermelon this year. But we shall see. We shall see. Moving along at the back of the bed here. There's some onion right here. No bulb. Same with this one. No bulb. But we'll have onion greens. I'm definitely going to use all the onion greens, bulb or not. We also have another eggplant, y'all. Where the blossom was right there, no eggplant. Like, these eggplants have been doing me dirty. And I've been so sad. But then I came out this morning and I was like, just look at how pretty these flowers are. And I was sitting and I was like, you know what? That's all right. And then I looked down and I saw an eggplant. Look at that, y'all. And then I felt special all over again. So, and then I turned to my right and I saw the formation of another one. So we'll hopefully have at least 2 eggplants, and we'll see if it will be enough to persuade me to grow them again next year. Random tomato plant, and then just a bed full of zinnias and snapdragons that have fallen over, been blown with the wind, you name it. I let them be great. I am going to step over, but wait, before I step over, this is my onion cemetery. Yep, exactly what it sounds like. These are extra, I think, tomato plants. They could be tomatillos. I do not know. So I decided to just throw them in, and then if they grow, they grow. If they don't, hey, I'm not dependent on them. Stepping over so that we can talk about this side of that bed from this side of the trellis. There is my loofah, and then there's squash, and then there's more squash. And the squash is just going, but I can't say anything about the squash because also the loofah is just growing and doing its thing. So I'm very happy to see that. And then over here on the other side of this bed, we have more squash. And there's another one like right up in here. And then loofah right there. So that is loofah growing up this way. This bin holds my sweet potatoes. And the sweet potatoes are also grabbing onto this trellis and kind of just spindling and growing up. So excited for them. They're looking healthy, looking happy. I've heard that you can eat sweet potato leaves. I tried last year. I didn't really care for it, so we're not gonna be doing that again this year. We're not gonna do it. But yeah, so that is what those beds are looking like. Our loofah is trying to do the same thing she did last year. She's grabbing onto our lights and just kind of growing. Eventually, I wouldn't be surprised to see her grow all the way up to the tree. She almost reached the tree last year, so like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. And then over here we have our little greens situation. I just threw this netting over it because I have seen like the little white butterfly flying around here lately, and I kind of want these greens to like last me, you know, throughout. Like, I want them to last throughout the season. I don't want them to get eaten up. There is some pest pressure. Like, you can see in there that lacinato kale is kind of being eaten. I'm going to have to check that situation out. But for the most part, the spinach looks good. This spinach is huge, y'all. Like, the size of my hand. So I would like to grow that again. I don't remember what kind it is, but I do know that all of the spinach I started from seed on my own. So it's something that I already have. Then we've got, I believe this is a broccoli. I believe that's a broccoli. I believe that might be broccoli as well, or cauliflower. But then over here, this is definitely a Brussels sprout. Yeah. Another Brussels sprout. And then that there. And then there's another behind it. Those are all collard greens. And then there's a curly kale here. So, she cute. But that is that. These are all just greens under here. We'll see what happens. I do plan on starting more seeds for these greens for the fall. But that is what this bed looks like so far. Now, moving along to the rest of my yard. I decided to move. Let me move back. I decided to move our raspberry plant down here into the yard because she was getting super huge on our deck. So there she is, going that way and this way, and she's got a good amount of buds on her, and she looks healthy and she looks happy, and that's all that matters. So I let her live here right next door to the asparagus patch. And the asparagus patch is looking good as well. There's asparagus growing all throughout this thing. This, like, if you split it down the middle, this back half is like just regular green Mary Washington, and then this front half is all purple passion asparagus. Turmeric, looking so cute. Ginger, looking like it's doing okay. I'm honestly kind of nervous to see what I get as far as a harvest goes for these guys, but looking okay. I just put this little baby stevia plant out here. Never tried it before, but I'm gonna see if it can be smells good, a good sugar substitute. And then our two huge horseradish plants. So excited about that too. Nervous about what I think it's just like every harvest when it comes to plants that you need to like harvest something that's underground, like you can't see what it looks like. I get nervous about those because I'm like, I don't know, I can't see it. How am I supposed to know if I'm doing it right? You know, so we'll see. This bag here holds a couple of onions. There's more onions planted over there that should probably be in like bigger containers. We'll see, y'all. I'm trying. We'll see if they get moved, or I may just end up using them as onion greens. We'll see. But to the right, we have our honey rock cantaloupe. right there. And then we also have a random okra plant right there. Same situation, and this is the trellis I gave the cantaloupe to grow up. But same situation over here in this bag. This is our honey rock cantaloupe, and right next to her is our random okra, who seems to be happy. Our peach tree is looking good, looking good. Underneath her, I actually ended up placing some toothache plants. So those are one of the medicinal herbs that I am growing this year. I have quite a bit of toothache flowers that I need to harvest as well. So there's a couple of peaches on this tree. I tried to cover up the ones that are doing okay, but there's some bruising on this one. I don't know if you would call it bruising or just discoloration. Yeah, discoloration. But I put a bag, or made kind of a mesh bag to go around that one. And then that one over there too. Same with the tree behind me. And I have more toothache plants, so I think I might put it, if not around this tree, I might honestly just cover the bottom of that tree in toothache. But there are a bunch of peaches on this tree, but something's getting to them because they are leaching pectin. I'm trying to find a good example of one that is leaching right here at the top. So you see that like clear substance right there where the stem meets the branch, that like clear gooey substance. That's the pectin leaching out right there too. So something is getting in there, and apparently the peach is trying to like push whatever the heck it is out. So I think next year I'm actually gonna buy like fruit bags to cover my fruit with. But this thing is loaded with a couple of peaches, so I'm hoping honestly just to get one, because this is my first year having this peach tree. So I'd be grateful with just one. Because I wasn't expecting any, right? We are gonna be pruning this tree by a lot come just before spring of next year, because we did not prune them. We got them in like May, and I put them in the ground in May too. So it was very late in the season, so I didn't want to stress them out any more than they already were. This is our surprise horseradish, because I had those 2 bags of horseradish over there already, but then this I found in the compost one day. So yay me, yay me. All of our potatoes, many more bags of potatoes that I'm just gonna go ahead and harvest, because they're starting to look like they're getting eaten. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and harvest them. There is also a bag of red potatoes over here still, starting to look rough finally. So yeah, there's gonna be another potato harvest video coming soon. And in the front here, watermelon. Like I said, y'all, I have not, like, my watermelon plants just don't be looking good. So I might either skip next year and not worry about watermelon, try something new, or I might just try to focus on maybe one plant a lot earlier and sooner than I normally would. And then that there is a pumpkin plant. It's just one coming out of that bag. And yeah, she's looking a little rough. But quite honestly, she gets fertilizer. And yeah, I don't know what to tell her. She better figure it out. Here we have some carrots. This is honestly the first bag of carrots I planted this season, the rainbow mix, and they are not really growing, and I want to say it's because I have them under this tree, and this tree is providing so much shade, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna plant another bag for fall. And then here finally we have our sweet potato slips that I just recently planted out with you guys on camera, and they're still looking good. They're looking hot, like some of them need some more water, but they look good. They look good. All right, so that is everything that I am growing in my backyard. I noticed that I have not taken you guys to see. It's hot. It is hot. I have not taken you guys to see anything that has been growing on my deck this season. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick tour of like the stuff that's on my deck right now. So you can see some of the herbs that I am growing. So up we go. All right, so coming up the steps, that's just a bucket where I had my cilantro in, and it's dead now. But in my herb stand here, we frequent this stand a lot. This is my lime basil. Love this stuff. If you have not had lime basil, get you some and try it. I like to dry it out and make lime basil salt and put it in my eggs. Y'all, it is heavenly, okay? Regular sweet basil. And then this is my lemon basil. It's good, but nowhere near as good as the lime basil. I also have purple basil down in here, but of course it's getting shaded out. So it may behoove me to just take a couple of these plants and actually just put them in different places around the garden soon. So I may just try that. One tier up, we have our mint. This here is my wild forest of strawberry mint that is continuously trying to go to seed on me. Oh my gosh, that smells so nice. Next to it, we have my very dramatic pineapple mint. Oh no, that's grapefruit. I knew exactly what it was as soon as I smelled it. That's my very dramatic grapefruit mint. Could use the water. We'll get to her later. We have the pineapple mint. And the pineapple mint always looks like that towards the end of the season. So I'm going to harvest this very harshly and dry a lot of it out. And then next to the pineapple mint, we have just regular sweet mint. And I grew this from seed, and that is why this mint is special. The rest of the mints, the different, like this one, the ones that have the flavor, so the pineapple, the grapefruit, the strawberry, those I got from my local nursery. But this one, this is Brittany mint right here. Yeah. And then above that, this whole container is actually lemon balm. I love lemon balm. I love to use it in my tea. So I just planted a whole container of lemon balm, and it's so good. Y'all, it smells heavenly. Heavenly. But she's dramatic too. She's dramatic as well. Almost all of these herbs are very dramatic. Next to her in this stand, we got some parsley, some thyme, and then I think there was some oregano in here at one point. But yeah, not anymore. Some onions that are, honestly, I got these onions from, these were onion greens, and I got them from the store, and I just threw them in the pot after I used them. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut these back and dehydrate them and turn them into powder. Rosemary right next to it. I got this from my local nursery. She's growing very slowly, but she is a perennial around here, so I'm thinking I might just put her in the ground before the season is up. Right next to our rosemary is our toothache plant. Look at how pretty the flowers on the toothache plant is, y'all. That is beautiful. But there's quite a few flowers in here, so when I harvest, I'm going to make sure to harvest those flowers. And I may honestly just go ahead and harvest a lot of these leaves too. They're really big, which is really nice. I'm going to dry all of this out and save it for when I need it, or maybe make a tincture. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But she's looking really good. She is looking really good. Right next to her, we have our bay leaf plant. And she's doing good. It's just a laurel bay leaf plant. I will need to bring her inside when it starts to get cold, because she does not do well in our climate in the winter. But she was way smaller than this when I first got her. I got this from my local nursery, hence the tag. But she's doing good. This is celeriac. They will need to go into the ground, but they are so tiny. I was trying to wait until they got a little bit bigger before putting them in the ground. And then here are the beans we planted out together. Y'all saw the bean situation down in the garden, okay? My beans are not looking good, all right? I'm not doing good with beans this year. This is not a bean year for me, okay? So yeah, that's what's happening there. This looks to be like, if not a weed, I don't think it's a weed. I think this is something I planted here intentionally. I just don't remember what it is. So hey, there's that. We have more blueberry bushes up here as well. This is a pink lemonade, and then there's another one. Let me see. Chippewa. That's a Chippewa. So that's that situation. These are just cups of extras and seedlings and things that I just keep here, so you know, to switch out and do my will with. Moving right along. This here is our prolific, it's called prolific kiwi. This is my first year having it. It has grabbed my deck there, reaching for my deck there. I think we're just gonna let this kiwi plant live on the deck. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let her take over. We're gonna let her figure out her life. As long as she's happy in this container, it is what it is. This is my lemongrass, y'all. Look at her. I'm so proud of her. She is taller than me, okay? When I got her, she was a baby. Like a baby. But she is like taller than me now, okay? I can't even reach. I can't reach. But she's doing lovely. She is also a perennial in my area, so I'm very excited about that. I love me a perennial plant. I don't like having to go buy plants every year. I don't like the whole annual situation. Give me some seeds, give me a perennial, and don't talk to me no more. If I'm being real. This is another one of those like patio white scallop squash situations. And yeah, we'll see what, if anything, comes out of that. This here, both of these containers actually are fennel. So we'll see if anything happens with the fennel. But they're looking good. There's mushrooms everywhere, so the soil is good. Just next to that, we have our ginger mint. Yes, that's ginger mint. I love it so much. All of my love flavored mints. I love me a flavored mint, y'all. But this year, I think what I'm going to have to do is take some cuttings and bring them in the house to overwinter. Like I said, because I'm not trying to keep giving people my money. I got it, yeah, but do I want to give it to you? No. So we're gonna try to figure this situation out. Okay, we're gonna try to figure this out. But I'm gonna harvest some of this in my harvest video as well. I'm actually gonna share some of this ginger mint with a friend of mine. I'm gonna share it with my chiropractor. I'm gonna share it with one of my colleagues. Like I have people that that are just not believing the amazingness of this mint, so I'm gonna share it with them. I think my husband also has a colleague that he was telling about like the different mint types, so we're gonna share the wealth. This is our yarrow, another one of the medicinal herbs that I'm growing. So there's that container, and then there's that container as well. Both of those are yarrow. Those two containers there are calendula, but they look very scraggly and are having a hard time because it's so hot. So I am going to try and start more seeds for those. Next to them we have sage, echinacea that never really did much, and then this is just kind of like a tower of different things here. Marjoram, that there is catnip, this over here is curled chervil, that there. And then, let me see, what's this? It's supposed to be hyssop, but I'm sure this here is a weed. And that is a container of flowers. Looks like maybe it's zinnias. What's this? A calendula. Let's see what else we got going on here. Curled chervil. Maybe. Looks like parsley. This was cilantro, but then it bolted, and it looks like I now have seeds. So yay for me for that. And looks like there's something over here on this side. What's that? Caraway. Down there. Oops. Caraway. So like I said, that's a couple of the medicinal herbs. I got like a whole little kit of medicinal herb seeds. So I'm just gonna try to see what I can grow, and then after I'm able to harvest and get an actual harvest, I'm gonna look into what I can do with these herbs. And yeah, we're trying to improve our lifestyle over here. And then lastly but not least, up top here we have oregano. I got this from my local nursery. Next to it is sage. I got this from my local nursery, but that sage down there I started from seed. And then up here on the banister, these are calendula, like little calendula babies. I don't think they're gonna do anything. They're so tiny. And then here, look at how pretty she is. This is my chocolate mint, y'all. I'm so proud of her because, oh, she smells so good. I'm so proud of her because when I got her, she was like literally 2 sticks, and one of the sticks was dead. All right, I popped her in some soil, let her overwinter outside, and she came back to me like this. All right, a friend of mine gave me a cutting, and that was the 2-stick situation. But look at her. She be looking a little rough up in her, you know, with some of these leaves, but look at her. She is tall. She looks so much better than she did when I first got her. Alright, so that is what the garden is looking like this July. I hope you guys enjoyed this garden tour. I thank you for rocking with me through it. I know it was long, but I wanted to make sure that I showed you everything because I realized I have not been in the past. So I thank you to my current subscribers. I want to thank my new subscribers as well. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, okay? And if you like this video, then like this video and give it a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video again, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And yeah, I think we hit it all. So with that being said, I will see you guys again in the garden doing a harvest for sure in the next video. Bye.